Hey everyone, Josh here with a look at another Star Wars toy. And today we're looking at a toy from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is the Theed Generator Complex playset. And this is supposed to be recreating the final battle of Phantom Menace between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. And if you remember in the movie at the end, they were jumping off and on all these different platforms at different levels, and this is the playset that is attempting to recreate that scene. And it does a couple little things here, and I'll show you guys that real quick. I just want to spin the whole thing around so you can get a look at it. It's really not a whole lot to it. It's just a bunch of platforms, and it does do a couple little tricks. I'll show you that, but I want to spin it so you guys can see it from all sides. And one thing you'll find out about this playset is that it actually attaches to another playset. There was another video I recently posted for the Theed Hanger playset. And if you get the Theed Hanger playset and the Theed Generator Complex, which is this playset, they actually connect together to make one big one. And I'll show you guys that. I'll show you where that happens here. And quickly, if you look, you'll see here at the very front, there's a little ramp that pulls out. And this here, there's a little tab here, and this is how you connect the two playsets together. So if you're interested in that, I'll make another video on that shortly. But for now, we're just going to look at the generator complex, which is the playset in front of you. And first thing I'm showing you is, of course, this ramp again. And it's just a ramp that... Oops, we dropped our battle droid there. It's just a ramp that gives you access to the platforms. You can see it can either go down. You can push it in a little bit, and it'll lay out horizontal. And it actually, if it's pulled up, it's like it's on a hinge, and you can actually have it ramp up. And that's another way it connects to the other playset. And to use it, you just push it in. Oh, we're losing all the figures here. Come on, guys. But you just push it in, and it actually hides in pretty well. And when you want to use it again, you just pull it out. And that's it. It's not a whole lot to it. And if you look at the other side, there's another ramp, and it has some similar functions, but it doesn't do exactly the same thing. This one only goes up to the horizontal position or down, and it doesn't push in at all, so it's stuck like this. But it is actually removable. If you want to take it off, you just kind of pinch the corners here, and it pops off. And it's real easy to get back in. You just line up the pins with the holes. It goes right back in, no problem. And another thing I'll tell you about this playset, you can see I've got a bunch of figures staged on it. And these are figures that are all sold separately. If you purchase this playset, because I have seen it on Amazon, the only guy you're going to get is this battle droid. So the playset itself actually only comes with the battle droid. And all the other ones you see here, if you purchase this and you want these figures, you have to buy them separately. So just be aware of that. You're not going to get Darth Maul or Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan. Only guy you're going to get is the battle droid. And so one of the first things I'll show you what it does. If you look where the two characters in the center are here, you got Qui-Gon and I have Darth Maul. And if you look closely, you'll see there's a little dial knob here, and if you look, the characters are actually on little platforms that rotate, and they have the pegs so you can slide their feet on there and the figures will actually stay. So I got Qui-Gon and Darth Maul actually planted on here, and if you look, both platforms have the little dial knob here. There's a little knob, and when you spin it, it spins the character. So they can have the lightsaber battle without you actually handling the figures. So there's two platforms that rotate, and there's a knob on each side, so you can spin each figure and recreate the lightsaber battle. Let's see if we can get Qui-Gon to turn around there. There we go. And that's how that works. There's not a lot to it. Just basically a rotator for the figures. And if you look on either side of the complex, you'll see there's two little side platforms, and they're identical. And what they do is each of them do the same thing. So we'll take a look at one of them and just realize they both do the same thing. But if you look at them closely, you'll see there's this little control console, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the camera up so we can get a decent look at this. But if you look at it here, it looks like a little control console, and you'll see there's a little tiny circular platform with a thing. And what this is a little figure catapult. So what you would do is you would take your figure and you set him on the console, and as you're playing, if he's to be destroyed, this is what you would do. And it launches the figure. So it's not all that exciting, I know, but that is how it's supposed to work. So let's try that again. So what you do is you just tap this little lever here as hard as you can, and it's going to fling the figure. And that's supposed to be the battle droid being destroyed. Now you can put the Jedi on there or anyone. And another thing these little platforms do is if you look closely here, you'll see there's a little tiny trigger button here. And there's one on both sides, and you'll see there's a little tiny arrow pointing down. So what you would do is you're going to pull this little trigger down, and the center of the control console is going to shoot out like it was destroyed. And there you go, and there's what shoots out. It's actually this little piece with the broken edges. And then the other two are also removable, but they don't shoot out. And they're just little tiny consoles with little stickers on them that look like control panels. So if you want to, you can have the platforms without the handrail, and you can still use the little figure catapult. So we'll put the battle droid on there, and let's move that back a little bit. Will he stand on his own? I just had him doing it. Come on now, guy. Alright, we'll seat him then. Anyway, so you have your figure on there, and you just boom, and he launches. So that's how the platforms work. And once again, both sides are identical, so I'm really only going to go through one side with you. But once again, to reinstall this stuff, what you got to do is you got to put the little side panels in first. And you can see there's little broken lines where you can mate the two sides up. So you put the side pieces in first, and they just snap in. There's nothing to it. And then finally you're going to put the center piece in that launches, and you just push till you hear click. Make sure the top's all lined up, and I'll show you how this thing launches again real quick. So you're just going to push down on the lever, and it shoots up in the air, and the console is destroyed. And you may have noticed one of the legs popped off, and I'm going to show you one of the things about these larger play sets is most of the stuff on them works, but I've been finding with the Phantom Menace stuff, it doesn't stay together real well. So it'll all assemble, and if you're going to put it on display, it works just fine. But if you're going to actually use the toy, you got to be a little bit careful with it. They kind of come apart easy. But these bottom legs do pop off. It's actually these. If you look, it's just the two along the center here. They're removable. This is what they look like, and they're easy to reinstall. They got holes and notches, so you can't put them in wrong. So we'll go ahead and put this back in. And there we go. It just snaps back in. And another thing I'll show you that the playset does really quick is actually the side platforms are removable. Both of them come off, and it's really just for taking the thing apart and storing it. But this is what it looks like. Now the legs on these are permanently fixed. These ones don't come off. The only parts that come off are the launching console. And here you can see get another look at the catapult feature. And also, if you want to see how this thing disassembles as well, this actual wall fixture, or the doorway, comes off. There's nothing to it. It's just a little archway with a couple stickers on it. And then it just snaps right back into place. No problem. And to reinstall these things, it's no problem. You just line up the aisleway and you push and you'll hear snap. And that's how it goes together. And that's what it looks like without any figures on it. I can show you guys the bottom as well if you know, there isn't a whole lot to this thing. It's just a couple little platforms and the rotating location for the lightsaber duel. And let's see if we can get all these guys back on here. And if you look closely, I don't know if you guys can see this. Here's the rotating platforms for the lightsaber duel. And you can see there's little foot pegs so you can put 2 characters on each one. But let's see if we can get these guys back on here. And you just push them till they bottom out. Sometimes it's a little tight, but I have yet to find a figure that doesn't go on here. So, of course, I haven't checked all of them. But every guy I've put on here so far, he's fit. And see if we can launch Obi-Wan with the catapult. Oh! Alright. So you guys get the idea how the whole thing works. And once again, if you decide to purchase this playset, the only figure you're going to get is the battle droid. You will not get the Jedi that come with it, or that I have on display here, but there you go, everyone. That's the whole thing. That is your Feed Generator Complex playset from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.